If we're talking top animes, I definitely think One Piece is deserving of being up there. And when an anime is that good, you know it has video games. Before now, I've only played the trilogy of older One Piece games, with Adventure being my favorite. The newer ones though, that are more hack and slash, I've never played. The first two were digital only in the US and got delisted sometime in 2017. Luckily, I did buy the first one before that happened. The second game, we'll deal with that later. This game has 37 trophies, consisting of completing both the main log and each character's side log, performing an event attack on each boss, and the usual miscellaneous trophies these games normally have. Then I need to collect all coins to activate every skill, and defeat a total of 100,000 enemies. I'm not looking forward to either of those. The main log is the story mode, so we'll start there. It begins with the Straw Hats meeting up again after 2 years when Luffy gets attacked by Pacifista. Before I can do anything, I need to hit some QTEs. There's a few of them here, but by hitting the first one, I get the first trophy for completing an action with Luffy. Now I'm introduced to the gameplay, and it's the same as any other game of this genre. I'm against hundreds of enemies and need to hack and slash my way through them. After I get the basics down, Pacifista shows back up as a sort of tutorial boss. I need to perform an event attack on almost every main boss, and I do that by stunning them. Bosses can't be stunned until they're on their last health bar. When they get knocked back in a daze, I can then initiate an event attack, which is just more QTEs. After I do this first one, I get a trophy for performing an event attack on Pacifista. Then, since he's one shot, I beat him and get another trophy for completing the first stage. That first level took place after the time skip, while the rest of the game is all flashbacks to what happened before. So that means we're going back to the beginning with Buggy the Clown. Luffy wants to recruit Nami, but to do that, I need to go see Buggy with her. She betrays him, regrets it, and Zoro shows up to save the day. As Zoro, I need to wipe out these lackeys to save Luffy. Now everyone's together, and I get introduced to another feature, called Crew Strike. With it, I'm able to switch characters mid-combo for a few attacks. It honestly isn't that good, and you'll never see me use it again. I only use it this one time because it gets me a trophy for using my first Crew Strike. I slowly make my way around the map until I meet Buggy again, this time for a boss fight. He's mostly a cakewalk. On his last health bar, he splits his body up but leaves his feet defenseless. If I catch them, I can stomp on them for an event attack. Hitting the QTEs gets me a trophy for performing an event attack on Buggy. A few more hits and I have this stage done. From now on, after every stage I finish, I'll get coins depending on how I did. These coins are used to buff my stats and activate skills. As I level up, I'll unlock more slots for them, so we'll come back to this. Next stage is against Don Krieg. He wants to take over the ship, so I obviously need to stop him. As I'm going through the stage, Don Krieg's ship gets sliced in half. Only one man is capable of that, Hawkeye's Mihawk. Zoro challenges him to a duel, so we switch to him for a mini boss fight against Mihawk. Halfway through, Zoro realizes he can't win, so he concedes, with a giant slash to the chest. Ouch. Let's get back to Luffy. Because we're on open water, most of this stage is just going from point A to point B until I get to Krieg. Once he's at one health bar left, he does me a favor and initiates the event attack himself. After I hit the QTEs, I get a trophy for performing an event attack on Don Krieg. Some bosses are nice and they'll do it for me. The next guy we're going after is the Fishman, Arlong. He basically has Nami hostage and we need to beat him to save her. This stage introduces us to territories, which are zones held by the enemy that I can capture. I do this by defeating enough enemies so a leader appears. Defeat him, and the territory's mine. I need to capture all three for more fishmen to appear. After I defeat them all, Hachi shows up. Or Hachin? Apparently both names work. I switch to Zoro again to fight him when something weird happens. I get a trophy for stunning an enemy for the first time by attacking their weak points. Didn't I already do that? I know Buggy and Krieg kind of gave it to me, but what about Pacifista? I don't know, but I'm happy to at least have it now. After I defeat Hachi, I have one more zone to capture before I go see Arlong. Halfway through the fight, the stage floods and we hop into the building. Arlong jumps in the water and shoots out at me from time to time. One of those times initiates an event attack. Hitting the QTEs gets me a trophy for performing an event attack on Arlong. After I beat him, I get more coins and level up Luffy enough to unlock a third coin slot. This lets me add the Nami coin, which gets me a trophy for activating a skill. Everyone's talking about Vivi and Alabasta, but before we go there, we need to make a quick detour to Drum Island. Nami got deathly sick somehow and needs a doctor urgently. The only one here lives atop a giant snow mountain, so we need to lug Nami up there. Her health slowly decreases, but I can use campfires to heal her back up. Most of this stage is solving puzzles to get Nami through. I can't fight with her on my back, so if any enemies show up, I need to put her on a bench to fight. Eventually, some giant snow bunnies show up, and because Luffy can't fight with Nami, I get to play as Sanji for the first time. After I defeat both bunnies, they start jumping and cause an avalanche. Sanji gets caught in it, and now I have to find him. I solve a few more puzzles, defeat more bunnies, and find Sanji, which ends the stage. This was a long one at almost 23 minutes. The next stage is just a boss fight against Wapol. He's one of the few bosses in the game that doesn't have an event attack, and therefore, no trophy, so I just have to beat him as normal. I play as Luffy first, switch to Chopper for the second phase, then back to Luffy. He's a simple boss with no special quirks. Now on to Alabasta. The Straw Hats get taken captive and Sanji needs to save them. Before I can do that, I have a mini boss fight against Mr. 3. After I beat him and rescue the Straw Hats, I switch to Luffy for the actual stage. The goal of this stage is for all allies to get to Alabasta, which is this zone in the top left. Each territory I capture saves another teammate, so I basically need to take them all. When they all get to Alabasta, Crocodile snatches Vivi, but Luffy takes her place. This leads to a boss fight against Crocodile. So here's the thing, it's an easy fight that I'm about to do on my first try. I know Crocodile has an event attack, but I wasn't able to stun him. Instead of finishing the fight, I'll just let him beat me so I can try again. By doing this, I get a trophy for retrying an episode, so it isn't all bad. I try a few more times when I find out there's another fight against Crocodile after this one. There's no event attack for this fight, so I've just been wasting my time. Before I can get to the next fight though, I have to do another stage. This one has a lot of puzzles, probably the most of any stage thus far. Waiting for me at the end is the second and last fight against Crocodile. After I take out his first health bar, he turns to sand, which makes him undamageable to normal attacks. I have to hit these fountains and become Water Luffy, so I can spit water at him and make him vulnerable again. Once he's at one health bar left, Crocodile smashes the floor and exposes pillars I can latch onto. These are for the event attack. When Crocodile does a specific move, I can grab onto them and begin the QTEs. Hitting all of them gets me the trophy for performing an event attack on Crocodile. The next stage is only a single boss fight, and it's against Usopp? How we got here was Luffy and Usopp got into a big argument because their ship is damaged beyond repair. Luffy decided they need a new ship, but Usopp doesn't want to leave it behind. This causes Usopp to split from the others and have an actual fight with Luffy. This should be easy. Usopp would be a piece of cake after dealing with the other bosses. Wait, I'm playing as Usopp? Okay, maybe this won't be so easy. I have to give the devs some props though. I thought I was going to smack Usopp around as Luffy until the camera changed characters. Because Usopp is severely at a disadvantage, I need to pull some tricks to do big damage. Even then, it's not enough and Usopp gets blasted. I mean, was there ever a doubt? For the next few stages, Usopp's actually gone, so it'll be a bit before we see him again. At Water 7, Robin gets accused of trying to assassinate the mayor. Even though she admits to it, Luffy doesn't believe her, meaning this stage has us sneaking into the city to look for her. There's more puzzles, a semi-maze, and a lot of back and forth. Just look at all these. There's even a boss fight in the middle against Frankie. He has no special quirk or event attack, so I just need to beat him as usual. During this fight, I have what might be the worst FPS loss I've had in a while. Thankfully, this is the only time it happened, but man was it bad. At the end, we find Robin, but someone named Bluno gets in our way. He's part of a group called CP9 and the final boss of this stage, which means he has an event attack. His is simple though, as all I need to do is stun him to initiate it. After hitting all the QTEs, I get the trophy for performing an event attack on Bluno. The leader of CP9, Lucci, shows to be a devil fruit user who punts Luffy out of the building. They then take Robin to a place called Enies Lobby, where the next stage takes place. Here, each Straw Hat needs to get to the courthouse, which is this top zone here. I need to open bridges for them, capture almost every territory, and hit 2 switches to unlock the path to the courthouse. I also have a new ally in Sogeking, someone Usopp sent to help. I wonder how they know each other. At the courthouse, I have a rematch with Bluno. There's no event attack this time, so it's just a normal fight. After I beat him, the stage ends and we move on to the last stage in the CP9 trilogy. This one is a boss gauntlet between 3 characters, Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy, each taking on a different member of CP9. The first is Jabra, who's about to kill Sogeking before Sanji kicks in. I need to take him out without letting him near Sogeking or Nami. If he hits either of them, it's game over. So long as I bait him away, I'll be fine. I just spam Sanji's spinning kicks and win the fight easily. Next, we switch to Zoro, where first, I need to defeat some enemies. Defeating about 20 of them causes Kaku to show up, a sword-wielding giraffe. He's our next boss, and he's like Jabra, where it's mostly a normal fight. Spamming my square combo and special attack is more than enough to beat him. Now we switch to Luffy for the last boss fight. This one's against Lucci, and it's a lot more complex than the last 2. For starters, Lucci has 3 phases. The first is a normal fight. Then, during a QTE segment, Luffy uses Gear 3rd and shrinks to the size of a toddler. After about 10 seconds, I'm back to normal and finish phase 2. Sogeking shows up, and it was actually Usopp the whole time? Didn't see that coming. He gives Luffy a sorta pep talk, and Luffy uses Gear 2nd for the last phase. This one has an event attack, but luckily, it's done automatically. After I've damaged Lucci enough, he hops on one of the ships, and I need to use a cannonball to get over there. A bunch of Marines are here, but they're no match against Gear 2nd. When I defeat them all, it initiates an event attack. Hitting the QTEs gets me the trophy for performing an event attack on Lucci. I do the ship segment one more time, and that's it for this stage. Next stage we're going to is the Sabaody Archipelago. The Straw Hat ship needs some work done, so they're stuck here for a bit. In the meantime, Pacifista shows up, and then the Navy. I need to capture the 3 territories that pop up, then this one in the bottom left to secure an escape path. Throughout the stage, I'll switch to other characters for a bit until they get poofed by Pacifista. After a few of them get got, I need to hunt down Kizaru. When I find him, I have a boss fight against him, until he disappears and I have to find him again. This happens a few times until I can finally beat him. The stage ends with everyone else getting poofed. They didn't actually die from that, they were all just sent to different islands. The game skips that though, and the next stage we see is Luffy at Impel Down with the help of Boa Hancock, someone he met on the island he was sent to. Impel Down is an underwater prison where Luffy is hoping to find Ace. There's different levels to this jail, and I'll be getting help from some unlikely allies along the way. Mr. 2 lets us know level 4 is directly below us, and after defeating the Minotaurus, the floor collapses and we fall into a boss fight against the jail's warden, Magellan. He's eaten the Venom fruit, which means his whole body exudes poison. And if I get hit by this poison, I'll take damage over time. I need to attack him when he's not doing that. And if he is, I can chuck a log of wood to stun him. Eventually, he'll fill the whole floor with poison, to which I can swing over to him and get some hits in. He's actually a tough boss. That poison slowly siphoning my health killed me at one point. And when I do manage to beat him, it's just barely. I was at death's door again. It seems like it wasn't just me, as Luffy is also struggling with the poison. He's about to die when Mr. 2 comes back to save him. That's still not enough, but don't fear, a mysterious person named Ivankov saves them both and cures Luffy. It's revealed Ace isn't even here and has been moved to Marineford, so now I have to escape Impel Down, and with more unlikely allies in Crocodile and Jinbei. While escaping, I need to go through Minotaurus again and the Vice Warden of the jail. After I defeat him, he gets stomped on by Teach, better known as Blackbeard, who I also have to fight. This stage has a lot of bosses. They don't stop there, because when I beat Blackbeard, Magellan shows back up. I already know I can't beat him in a fair fight, so my only option is to flee. I'll be seeing him again soon anyways. I haven't had a trophy pop in a while, so let's get an easy one. While swinging over the poison, I miss a QTE and fall down. This happens to be my 10th time messing up, which gets me a trophy for falling off platforms 10 times. Immediately after that trophy, I meet Magellan again. This time, it's different, since Mr. 3 decks out Luffy with some candle gloves and boots. This lets me hit Magellan without taking poison damage. It still hurts if he spits on me, but at least now I can hit him without damaging myself. After I officially beat him, the stage ends as we escape Impel Down. We're at the endgame now as we enter Marineford to save Ace. There's lots of doors to get through by defeating the leader blocking each one. Then Mihawk shows up, but I can just ignore him and keep moving forward. I eventually get to a point where after defeating this defense commander, Akainu starts hailing down magma meteors. This disrupts a bit of the main path, and it's recommended to toss some ice blocks to cool it down. Recommended is the key word, as I can just dash across it. It does damage me a bit, but it's not enough to waste time tossing ice at it. It makes even less sense since soon the stage ends and I get items to give me full special and health. I know I kind of sped through the stage, but trust me, we'll be back here later and have a lot more time to talk about it. At the end of the stage, I have a boss fight against one of the Marine Admirals, Aokiji. It's been a while, but we do have another event attack with this boss. All I need to do is stun him on his last health bar to initiate it. Hitting the QTEs gets me the trophy for performing an event attack on Aokiji. I actually lost to this dude twice, meaning he's officially the hardest boss so far. Stage 16 is the last stage in the main log, and I'll have to play through it twice. Once by just playing through it naturally, and the other by capturing specific territories and defeating specific enemies. I'll do that one first, since it's easy to mess up. The goal of this playthrough is to complete the stage as it happened in the original story. I'll do my best to keep it quick, since it's a lot of steps. First, I capture Territory H with Luffy, then switch to Hancock. With her, I need to defeat Pacifista without capturing any territories. This will open a path southeast, where I then have to defeat Sentomaru. After I beat him, I'll switch to Whitebeard. I need to capture Territory D to make Kizaru appear. When he does, I need to beat him without capturing anything else. After I do that, I switch back to Luffy and capture Territory A. Some leaders will then spawn that I need to take out, while still capturing nothing else. I head to reunite with Whitebeard, then Aokiji shows up. Beating him secures the trophy. Now I'll switch to Ace, and the last thing to do is beat Akainu. I won't actually beat him though, as shortly after the fight starts, Ace takes a lethal blow for Luffy, which unfortunately kills him. This ends the stage and I get the trophy for completing it as it originally happened. Now to do it again, in any way I want. An easy way I can guarantee not getting the ending I just got is by capturing 4 territories. If I do that, I'm locked into the ending I want. I do everything else the same and end up back as Ace against Akainu. Where the stage ended before, it now continues, but with me playing as Luffy. This is the final boss of the game. He plays normally at first, minus when he's on fire and I have to chuck ice at him. The last phase takes place on a giant magma hand. I don't even know how we got here. The game faded to black, and next thing I know, we're here. Akainu has an event attack, but it's hard to get to. It's an automatic one when his health's low enough, but just getting there is tough. He has a move that tracks me, and if I get hit once by it, I'm taking 4 more hits from it. A lot of the time, he'll do it twice back to back. I'm basically stun locked. I lost 5 times against him. When I finally get to the end of the fight, I hit the QTEs and get the trophy for performing an event attack on a Kainu. I still barely beat him. I'm happy I don't have to do that boss ever again. The ending cutscene shows Luffy telling his crew they'll meet again in 2 years, leading directly into the first cutscene of the game. After everything ends, I get the trophy for completing the main log. The only other mode I need to do is another log. This puts me in the shoes of different characters to play stages from their perspective. This only applies to stages they were actually in, so a character like Jinbei would have substantially less stages than a character like Nami. I'll go in order, starting with Zoro. He has 7 stages, with the first being against Buggy. To not repeat myself, since these stages are strikingly similar to those in the main log, I'm going to skip over most of them. I'll still bring up important moments though, like how when I finish this first stage, I get some coins as usual, and a trophy for collecting all coins featuring powerful enemies. This one's a bit weird, since the only new coin I got was for Frankie. But why would he be considered a powerful enemy and not a Straw Hat? Is it because he was a boss one time in Water 7? I'm not sure, but either way, that's one more trophy down. From here, Zoro goes through every main stage he was in. Any mini boss fights against Mihawk or Hachi get skipped, since the main goal of these stages is just to beat the end boss. Interestingly enough, even though he wasn't part of the Drum Island stages, he gets an original stage that ends with a fight against Wapol. Usopp, Sanji, and Chopper also get this stage. Not Nami, because obviously. The last stage for Zoro is the Sabaody Archipelago. I need to defeat Pacifistas, Sentomaru, and a bunch of marine leaders to make Kizaru appear. Once I defeat him, I get the trophy for completing Zoro's log. Nami's log has 5 stages, skipping out on both Krieg's and Wapol stages. The stages themselves are the same as Zoro's, with every objective being the same. I'll just skip to her last stage, again being the Sabaody Archipelago. A lot of characters have this as their last stage. I just need to beat Kizaru like before, and I'll get the trophy for completing Nami's log. I'm going to speed through the rest of these logs, since they're all practically identical. Usopp's log has 6 stages, with everything from Zoro's minus the Buggy stage. Once I defeat Kizaru with him, I get the trophy for completing Usopp's log. Sanji's log also has 6 stages, all being the same as Usopp's. Once I defeat Kizaru with him, I get the trophy for completing Sanji's log. Chopper's log has 4 stages, since he's missing both Krieg and Arlong. Once I defeat Kizaru with him, I get the trophy for completing Chopper's log. From here, every character left has only 1 or 2 stages, so we'll be done with these fast. Nico Robin's log has 2 stages, one at Enies Lobby, and the other, of course, at Sabaody Archipelago. Once I defeat Kizaru with her, I get the trophy for completing Nico Robin's log. Frankie's log has 2 stages, being the exact same ones from Robin's. Once I defeat Kizaru with him, I get the trophy for completing Frankie's log. Brook's log only has 1 stage. Wanna guess what it is? Sabaody Archipelago again. But this time, there's good news. This is the last time I'll have to play this stage, as the other characters left don't include it. Once I defeat Kizaru with him, I get the trophy for completing Brook's log. Ace's log also has 1 stage, except this one is at the Marineford. It's the same as the last stage in the main log, where the goal is to defeat a Kainu. There's a lot of bosses before him though. Kizaru, Aokiji, Pacifistas, Blackbeard, and Mihawk. I have to defeat them all before a Kainu shows his face. Once I defeat him, I get the trophy for completing Ace's log. Boa Hancock's log has 1 stage, and it's more of the same. Once I defeat a Kainu with her, I get the trophy for completing Hancock's log. Jinbei's log has 2 stages, with the first being exclusive to his log. It's set after Luffy saved him at Impel Down and had to escape. For this stage, I need to capture every territory to stop Magellan's poison attack. Finishing this stage gets me more coins and also a trophy for collecting all coins featuring members of the Navy. This is another weird one, as the only new coin I got was Ivankov's mark, and they are not a member of the Navy. They actively helped Luffy fight against them. It's definitely odd for sure. Jinbei's last stage is again at the Marineford. After I defeat Akainu, I get the trophy for completing Jinbei's log. The last character's log to do is Whitebeard, and his only stage is, you guessed it, Marineford. It's the same song and dance as the last 3 times I've done it. I beat Akainu for the last time, and get the trophy for completing Whitebeard's log. Here's where the grind of the game starts. The last few trophies I need are all coin and KO related. Since I'll get KOs by just playing the game, I'll focus on the coins first. At the moment, I'm missing 36 of them. That may not sound like a lot, but trust me, it is. How coin drops work is based on beat. Beat is generated by defeating enemies without being hit. The higher that number gets, the more coins I get at the end. I get 1 coin for every 150 beat until 600, then 1 more coin for 100 beat, maxing out at 700. Anything after that does nothing. The best stage to grind coins in is stage 11 of the main log. That might sound weird, since the only time I fight basic enemies is with Zoro and Luffy, and even then, it's never more than 100 enemies, so how am I going to get 700 beat here? The thing about beat is that it also counts QTEs and cutscenes, moments where I have to mash a button, add to the beat, and coincidentally, this stage has a ton of that. Sanji beating Jabra, Zoro beating Kaku, and Luffy beating Lucci all have a mashing QTE. Plus, during the Lucci fight, there's 2 more cutscenes that have QTEs, and if I hit all of them as a big success, I get an extra 180 beat. This stage is both the easiest to get 700 beat and the fastest to finish. On average, I finish it in about 5 to 6 minutes, not counting cutscenes I think, so maybe closer to 10 minutes. I also get coins for defeating each boss, so I'm guaranteed at least 7 or 8 coins per playthrough. It should be 8 every time, but sometimes the game only gives me 7 coins, even if I got over 1,000 beat. This is what I'll be doing for the next who knows how long. It's complete luck for what coins I get. Sometimes I'll get multiple new coins, and other times all duplicates. And the more coins I get only increases how often I'll get all duplicates. I'll be on this stage for a while. Other coins I need, I think, are called friend coins. These require me to play with people online to obtain. I need 3 of them for a skill, so I need to find 3 different people to play with, since I can only get 1 coin per person. I can just play the first stage against Buggy with them and it'll count. The hard part is finding people to play with. After 3.5 hours of grinding stage 11, I get Robin's coin, and she's the last Straw Hat coin I needed, which gets me the trophy for collecting all coins featuring the Straw Hat Pirates. Many hours later, and I have 13 coins left. While playing through this stage so many times, I found a way I can cheese Lucci. If I go into the last phase with enough special meter, I can position Lucci in this corner and start spamming him with it. The item will refill my meter, and I can completely skip Lucci ever going onto the ship. Some more time later, and I only need 4 more coins. I got 2 of them, so now all I need are Usopp's and Ferengi's new world marks. They're not dropping after more hours on this stage, so I'm going to try something else. Because they're related to characters I can play, I can use them for a possible higher chance of getting one. I do both of Usopp's last 2 stages and Ferengi's last stage and get nothing. This took me 30 minutes combined, so I think it's better to just grind stage 11, as boring as that gets. After some more hours, I finally get Usopp's new world mark, and that leaves only 1 coin left. This game teases me and gives me the coin again after a few matches. Of course, I spend hours getting it, and now it wants to be a common drop. I'm on some copium because I'm going back to play as Frankie, this time on Zordo's stage, since apparently the bigger the stage number, the more likely it is to get good coins. You know, now that I'm saying it out loud, that does sound dumb. Plus, the game doesn't even let me see what I would have got, since it freezes every time I do this stage as Frankie. I tried twice, and both times it locked up. Guess it's back to stage 11. Again, it gives me Usopp's new world mark. This is getting annoying. I'm sure I'll get it soon, and if you count days later as soon, then I did. Finally, Frankie's new world mark. That's all the coins, but now I need to use them. Different combinations of coins activate different skills, and now I need to go through and activate them all. It takes about 45 minutes to do all of them, with the last ones being Jackpot Ace and Jackpot Hancock. When I activate the last skill, after 25 hours of grinding the same stage, I get the trophy for activating all skills. That's the end of one grind. Now on to another. The final thing I need to do is defeat 100,000 enemies. There's no way to check how many I'm at, and unfortunately, I never kept count. So I'm just going to go until the trophy pops. I hope playing stage 11 so much at least put me above 50k. The best stage to grind kills in is stage 15 of the main log. I told you we'd be back here. I play through the stage as usual until I get to where Mihawk shows up. First, to stop him from bothering me, I'm going to damage him until he leaves. Now in this spot, enemies will infinitely spawn. I only have 90 minutes for the whole stage, so I can't stay here forever, but I can spare about 70 minutes. If the time expires before I finish, then none of my KOs will count, so I need to make sure that doesn't happen. I also get the other last trophy I need here, and it's for defeating 1,000 enemies in a single stage. By the end, I should have about 5,000 KOs. It did take me almost the whole 90 minutes, but 5,000 is a good number. Whenever I have over an hour to spare, I'll play this stage to rack up some KOs. I'll actually keep count this time so I can see how many I was at before I started. Since it's just the same thing over and over again, and not luck based like the coins, I'll skip to the end. After 11 hours of grinding and 45,283 KOs on this stage, I get the trophy for defeating 100,000 enemies. And the platinum. Doing the math, I was at 54,717 KOs before starting, if you're curious. According to the guide I used, this game should take around 70 hours to platinum. The author does note that 70 hours is an estimate, since the game is heavily luck based due to the coins. Luckily, I don't have to add up my footage since the game itself tells me how long I took, which is 63 hours and 57 minutes. Let's just round that up to an even 64 hours. Honestly, I wasn't that big a fan of this game. Even though it's most similar to games like Dynasty Warriors, in those, you're like a god against thousands of soldiers. I didn't feel that way here. If anything, I felt underpowered most of the time. That might be because this game takes place pre-time skip, or because it's the first game in the series. That just means there's nowhere to go but up, right? Right?